The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And welcome to The Calling tonight. This is Willow LeMachant, and Jerry and Kimberly left me alone. And you know what that means. No telling where this show is going tonight. So please buckle up, fasten those seatbelts, keep your hands inside the ride, and let's get this night going. So tonight I have very interesting guests. I have a very dark, mysterious, beautiful couple from St. Louis, Missouri. I have Nick and Niki Campagna, and they are paranormal investigators and vampires. We are going to have so much fun tonight, guys. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. How about you, Willow?
I'm great. We could get in all kinds of trouble, however. I'm just warning you ahead of time. Okay.
It's fine. We're ready.
So tell me a little bit about your paranormal and vampire life in St. Louis. Because here in New Orleans, of course, people can walk down the street as vampires every day. And if we don't see a vampire, there's probably something going on, like, a pandemic or something.
Yeah,
But in St. Louis, how are you accepted? Not just in the vampire community, of course, but in the paranormal community, in the regular community. Is there any vampire discrimination? That's really the question.
Honestly, there isn't. There really isn't.
We're all weirdos. We just choose to have some teeth and be vampire weirdos.
That's right.
Oh, cool.
And we do our own thing. And, I mean, when we do our investigations, we have fangs in and we go ahead and do our paranormal thing. I mean, but there's no discrimination. It's actually more of a, how do you want to put it? I guess it's more of a...
It's accepted.
It's accepted, but it's more of an interest.
Yeah.
And people are intrigued by it. So, I mean, if we're walking down the street in St. Louis and doing anything, we get second looks on stuff. And what is that? But, I mean, it brings up questions and brings up conversation.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. We have a lot of weird conversations here in New Orleans, too. Of course, you've been here enough to know that.
Yes. But those are good, though. Those are good conversations.
They really are. So my first question of the night, and I'm sure our listeners in our chat room are going to give us a lot of questions tonight. I think this is actually the first time, other than me, to have an actual paranormal investigating vampire couple on the show. I think it's a first. But the first question I have for you, what came first, paranormal or vampire?
Actually,
Paranormal.
I would say the paranormal came first.
Okay, cool.
A lot more.
Paranormal experiences came first. Investigating
came after.
After vampires. Okay. So when you joined your paranormal group, how did they know you ahead of time? Was it like, guess what, guys, we're vampires, but we want to join your group?
That.
Yeah. That was it.
They embraced it wholeheartedly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
They really
So you do events in St. Louis as well, both paranormal and vampire. But let's talk about the paranormal events a little bit first. Sure. So what's been going on? Have you done anything recently, anything coming up where maybe some of our listeners might want to visit St. Louis and join into some of these events that you're having?
And right now we're starting our actual investigation season with Pythian Castle, which is in Springfield, Missouri. That's actually this weekend. And then we have a listing of other dates that we're going to be there as well. But that's a big one. Then we also do Ray County Museum, which is interesting place. Let's put it that way.
So it's just houses. It's been a lot of different things over the years, but it's just every room is a different room of different artifacts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a sports room, you have a classroom, you have war rooms, different war eras and all. A lot of history in that, and the Ray County Museum itself. So, I mean, that place there, that's where we've had
So our
some
group,
of our experiences at.
Our group tends to do the historic, and then that's what Paranormal Task Force does, is they give back to its nonprofit, so whatever we make goes back to where we're at. So it goes back to Pythian Castle, it goes back to Ray County Museum.
Nice.
We do private ones too as they come along, but mainly we're just trying to kind of keep the history going and alive and doing it through the paranormal.
Oh, cool. So was your first paranormal experiences, that you've personally had, was that actually during one of your investigations or before you joined the paranormal community?
Mine was before we joined when I was 17, so.
Okay, well, the first one I was really little. I was like 6. I didn't know it at the time what it was, but.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who wants to tell me about your experience? Because I think the listeners would like to know what got you really interested in the paranormal.
Oh, I'll let you first. Ladies
so we lived in this old house, and I shared a room with my brother, and I was laying across my bed, and I just had my head over the back, and I was looking at my doll. And it was the kind that when you laid it down, it was marble-eyed, so the eyes closed.
Yeah.
Well, it's standing against the wall, and its eyes closed and opened twice. And I never really understood it. It didn't scare me until later on that, like, oh gosh, that was probably not supposed to happen. And
Yeah.
And then our high school was haunted. That was interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. What about you, Nick?
Mine actually, I was intrigued with paranormal and the occult in my teenage years. So when I was 17, a buddy of mine went to a friend's house, and we started playing with the Ouija board. And things progressively got worse, I guess. So, I mean, it's with that there, let's just put it this way, I don't remember much of the night. I was told that I was speaking different tongues. I was running 103 temp, and this was dead winter. It was in January back then, and it was cold, so I was sweating profusely, and that's all I really know is what secondhand stuff. I ended up outside.
Oh, wow.
Trying to cool down, and it just... After that, I actually started getting more involved with the occult, but I also started interested in the paranormal more so, trying to figure out what happened and what got conjured, if you will.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And very scary probably on your part.
It was.
Yeah.
I still don't really talk about it.
Well, I'm glad you're you again.
Oh.
I can say that. I mean, for myself, I have had that where spirit takes me over, but generally it's been volunteering it. I allowed them to do it. So for you to not allow that and to have that happen, that's got to be scary.
It was.
So, yeah. Well, I'm glad that it has interested you in the paranormal, but you're okay.
Yeah.
Because some people don't come out of situations okay like that.
Yeah.
If you want to call me okay, yeah.
Well, you're okay in my book, so yes,
That's a good thing.
So, and if anybody in the chat room has any questions for our wonderful couple here, please jump on in and ask those questions, because I look forward to seeing what you guys can come up with as well. So tell me a little bit about your actual paranormal group. How many are in your group? What's some of the experiences you've had? If evidence you've collected, some of those things.
So it's Paranormal Task Force, and we have about 35 active members. It's large, but
That's a big group, yeah.
Yeah. So we're here in St. Louis, and then we have some out in Kansas City area. So we kind of divide and conquer. We all obviously can't go to all the events. So this is the events coming up. Who can go? You sort of get shuffled and picked, and then if you get picked for this one, next go around, you get the next one.
Gotcha.
Private cases get posted if it's close to your area. They usually like for you to take it if it's something close to you. Like Nick said, our next one's Pythian down in Springfield.
This weekend.
We usually try and do 2 nights, a Friday night and a Saturday night.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
We have a medium and just lots of different ranges of empaths and lead investigators, and we've got a wide range.
So do either of you have the ability to be sensitive to spirits or hear them, see them?
So last year,
Yeah.
Nick and I went into a metaphysics shop, and the lady that was running it was one of their local witches, and she wanted to cleanse us before we went and did our event. Mm-hmm. And she cleansed me, and she got done cleansing Nick, and she looked at him and she said, "You have the biggest third eye." And I couldn't help but laugh, and I'm just like,
I didn't know how to take
kind
that.
of lady tells when her wife's standing there that he's got a big third eye. We didn't think much about it.
No.
And then this past year, we were kind of doing a private, I can't say much, but we were doing a private event, and Nick's third eye got blown wide open.
Yeah.
And so now he's kind of trying to learn how to harness it and, keep his aura in tight. And so we're learning. I had to pull him out of one of our last events because it wasn't going so well, and it wouldn't let him go. And so took him out, used some of your lovely Florida water. And we just closed him down, and
yeah,
we just have to. I said, you can't meditate and you can't call it in until you know how to, really use it well. So
yeah, that was an experience. Let me tell you, because
he didn't fight me though. He sort of started to head away, and I was just like, "Hey, you can't go down there yet. We're not." There was something that we were trying to get clean, and it wasn't it trying to draw him. But he took a few steps in, and I just kind of hooked my finger around his belt and kind of pulled him back. And
it
was a pretty intense night, but everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's like they know a magnet when they.
Yeah, it's like it's wide open now, and I just said, you've always wanted to pull him in. I said, but now that it's there, you really gotta.
I'm to the point now where I'm learning to control it even more so. And I don't. Before an investigation, I would meditate, just relax, and I used to meditate in certain rooms. Just at that time, and another time at the same place, they got me again, and so I had to learn not to do any of that and open myself up like that. Yeah. So it's new to me. I mean, I'm going to be 47, and this is all new to me. Still, I'm like, really. I've been to other places and everything, and
there's no turning back now. Now you got to.
Yeah,
it's what it is.
Yeah, I have a question from one of our listeners. Steve B would like to know, how do you control your aura?
Well, that's something I'm still learning to do. With me having my third eye as open as it is. Something I have been doing is meditation. I'll do meditation, just being a private, by myself and just in our hotel room or something, just relax a little bit before an investigation.
But he grounds himself.
Yeah, but I'm grounding myself and everything before.
Good. Do you wear any kind of protection stones or carry any stones with you?
We do.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we got a lot of those when we were down the first time, and we went ghost hunting in New Orleans. So that first bag that I had made just vanished, and I couldn't find it. And so we went and got another one made, and eventually it popped up. it did resurface, but yeah, we do carry stones, and we have rosary bracelets, and we're Catholic. It's not that we're Catholic, but we also believe in the healing energies and what stones and crystals have, and so we do carry those with us as well.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times people will carry a rosary with them if they're Catholic, or they're going to carry a cross or a crucifix, something like that might be blessed, or a different saint medal, or different medals. So any of those are really good to carry, just so if you're not doing it, you should be doing something. Because I do that. I mean, even when I'm sitting in my own house, because I have the seance room with portal mirrors going all the time.
Yeah, that's right. I told Nick, I said, look, she's got her mirrors.
That's one mirror. Yeah, I have the other one right across the room from it. So they open up this doorway. But the thing is, I have this Super 7 stone, also known as a Melody stone, that I wear. And I keep that on me. But if I go into any kind of investigations, I always wear black onyx.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For that grounding and that protection. Right. So I'm glad you're doing something there to protect yourselves in them.
Well, speaking of the stones, the first time I went into this place and Nikki had to grab me.
Neither one of us brought our stones.
We didn't bring our stones.
We didn't even think about it. Right?
Oh,
yeah.
So but the second time I had them with me, but they weren't on me. I had left them in my truck because we got out of the truck fairly quickly, and I thought I had my stones with me, but it was actually my keys. I'm thinking they were my stones.
Yeah. So now it's a
must.
Definite recheck and check again. Yeah.
Right. You might want to think about a piece of jewelry that you always have on you now, especially since your third eye is open so much.
Right.
So, a nice big black onyx manly ring, something like that, that will work.
We'll get some. We got to get some.
Yeah, because, it was bothering me. I was going into places and it was always spirit trying to take me over or choking me or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point I'm like, no, no, you're not going to do that.
Exactly.
And I've been attacked too many times. And so for me, I always carry my spray. Of course, Willow's spirit be going spray, carry that with me everywhere. But I also now always wear that black onyx ring. So that to me are my two protections. Yeah. So in case they get me, I got the spray.
That's right.
But I always have the ring.
It's hard to do something about it.
Yeah.
We carry all that as well now. I mean, we have.
And if it's bad enough, we turn around backwards and walk out.
Yep.
Yes.
Something else we learned.
Yeah.
From Blue Wonder. That was from our first time down there with you.
Yeah. So let's talk about that time when you visited here in New Orleans and we did that investigation during the Halloween time in the cemetery. I don't know if I ever actually got to hear everything that you experienced. I know what I experienced, and I was down for 3 days after that investigation.
I mean, we were in the cemetery and the Potter's Field and all that. It was just was new to us. Still.
You sort of get pulled every way. Yeah.
I mean, I heard there were certain just voices I would hear when we had on EVPs. We had on the recorders we had the EVPs and all that. So it was just like it intrigued me even more so to do what we do now. I was like, "Did you hear that?" She's like, "Nikki was." Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, what did they say? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
mean, it's hard to understand sometimes. So, but our first time down there was a real eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
For us as paranormal investigators.
And that's what kind of pushed us into finding something here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, just so the listeners know, we're talking about the Charity Hospital Cemetery here in New Orleans. So, but when we were back there, let's get back into that. So the seance following our investigation. Let's go back there. Okay. What did you experience during that? You said it was affecting you.
With me, something was affecting me because
He blacked out.
I blacked out.
Oh.
I blacked out sitting up. My eyes were open.
I leaned in to talk to him, and he was just not there. I wasn't going to make a fuss. There was just too many people. So I just put my hand on his leg and, just every now and then would lean in and just waited for it, whatever was there to take leave.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
Did whatever it was, but I mean, I just blacked out and I didn't hear nothing. And, Nikki was
Oh, wow.
sitting next to me, saying, I guess, my name, but I didn't hear nothing. So.
Well, I know there were people that were leaving, vomiting. It was crazy.
Great.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, my head's going to explode at any moment, and spirits are all coming in. Well, the mistake we made, guys, was I didn't use salt at the front of the gate. And we should have all walked backwards, but, we didn't. So all those
backwards, we just didn't do the salt.
The
We
salt,
did walk
but
backwards. Yeah.
some didn't, though. I know there were some people that did not. And so what happens is all those spirits kind of jumped on the bus.
Yeah.
Literally.
And we had a party bus of spirits. So that was the big issue. So when we got there, it was like Grand Central Station. I think I literally crossed over like 20 spirits during that investigation after that with the seance. It was insane. But I will never do it like that again. I've learned, that was my classroom. I learned the hard way. And unfortunately, there were a lot of other people also being affected by that. And so now I've learned not to do that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I do remember is before I blacked out, there were some, I guess they were kids, younger folk that were giggling and laughing. And so, I mean, I know that's going to perturb some spirits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were some folks that didn't take it seriously, and it affects the whole thing.
Yeah, and I also think that even those people that weren't taking it seriously, after the fact, were contacting me because they had issues. They had issues.
They probably had hitchhikers on the way home, too.
Yeah, I actually ended up having to go and do a clearing on one of their Airbnbs they were staying at.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, wow.
So we won't do that again.
Yeah, no.
I've learned my lesson, and so now when I go to do investigations here, I know that the places I'm going into are very haunted. We make sure we take all of the precautions.
Oh, definitely.
But tell me some of the other experiences that you guys have had. And then before the show is over, we're going to talk about the vampire community as well, because I know a lot of people want to talk about that as well. But what other experiences? We know, Nick, you are a magnet. Okay, yep. We know that now. Nikki, have you had any other experiences over the last couple of years on these investigations that you are doing?
So we were at, we don't go there any longer, but it was called Shoal Creek. It's like a living museum where historic buildings were all brought in on this land. So there was a church and a mercantile and different cabins. And it was a Friday night. It was just closed for us. The public event was going to be that Saturday. So all the buildings were kind of open for us to kind of rummage and do whatever we wanted to do. And Nick and I were sitting in what was called, the Crossroads, which was a bar on the bottom, but you could also rent the top. It was just an old little cabin.
Okay, yeah.
So I was sort of stuck in the corner, and Nick was like a few tables over. He had his recorder, and I had just had a millimeter going, and we just weren't getting much. A little bit of creaks upstairs, but, was it somebody walking around, or was it just an old wood building moving?
Right.
So eventually I just said, if you want us to leave, you got to make a bang. And the wall next to me banged so hard that I did sort of the typical go show scream, grabbed my equipment, and out the door I went. And Nick's like, what's going on? I mean, he heard the scream, and he heard the bang. And we do have it on audio. We did catch it, but oddly enough, I wasn't getting anything on my millimeter inside, but when I looked at it outside, it was pinged. And so what was ever inside had followed me outside.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of my most exciting, most scariest, but it didn't scare me away. I went back in, and then the next night at the event, they were smart enough to assign me to that location. So I had to sort of get over, all of my fears. I I kind of felt like a main talk show guy that jumps around and gets scared. I'm like, okay, so I've got that out of the way.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. At least they responded, and a lot of times you just sit there and don't get anything. For. Yeah. So, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So anything else that you have a memorable experience about?
Yeah, my first time at Pythian Castle, which we're going to be going to this weekend. We it was a public event. So one of the other investigators, a lead investigator, this was I think it was probably my second event with the group, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
But it was my second event, but we were up in the theater room itself, and we thought we had some attendees still in the room. There was 2 attendees up on the stage and then 2 sitting in the chairs. Well, everybody gets called back downstairs. We break the switch levels. Mm-hmm. So I looked at the other investigator, and we said, okay, let's get up and leave. We looked up. There was nobody in the room, but we saw 2 silhouette figures on the stage that we had no clue what they were. The one was sitting on the stage Indian style, and the other one was sitting on the stage dangling their feet off the stage. And I looked at the other investigator. I'm like, "Do you see that?" He goes, "Yeah, I was hoping you saw it too." And by the time we were to get a camera or anything over there, they were gone.
Oh wow!
That one there sticks with me a lot because that was one of my memorable moments, and it was one of my first actual. With events with the group itself. So it was good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. When you can see full bodies or even shadows, that's really cool.
Right.
That's definitely a memorable experience.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So let's talk vampires because we've only got, like 20 minutes or so, but let's talk about the vampire community.
We can do that.
What brought you into it?
I brought him into it.
Yeah, but
no buts. No buts.
No buts, but
no buts.
No buts, but
we'll do it this way. We it was our first time going down to New Orleans. When we met up with you.
Yeah.
It was actually your mother who sent us the link.
No. My mother didn't send us. My mom sent me just a meme.
Oh, it was a meme, okay.
And it was just a picture of one of the old homes in New Orleans, and it said, "Would you ever go to a vampire's ball in New Orleans?" And I was like, "Well, that's an idea." And I Googled it, and up came the ball, and there on we went. Yep. But I had been into vampires for 15 years prior.
I was secretly liked it because it didn't really family and all that at the time.
Yeah. I came along and upheaved Nick's life, and
it's all good.
It was. Are you joining a cult? No, it's not a cult. It's not a cult.
So, but no, that was good. It was Nikki brought me.
And to let you all know, they actually do wear their fangs everywhere. Okay, they are fanged right at this moment. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting because Nick does have a little bit of a lisp, but we're not going to mention that.
Yeah,
we won't mention the lisp. But that's why I'm not.
I don't have a lisp.
Yeah. I myself won't wear them if I'm talking because I will have a lisp and you will laugh at me. So I won't do that.
I laugh that all the time. It is what it is.
Teeth or not.
So you are also founding members of the Archhalo Vampire Crew. Mm-hmm. Now, how does that relate to Endless Night and Fangs? And give me your description.
So we were fanged in New Orleans, 2017.
Yep, October 2017.
And from there, we met Zach and Jen. And oddly enough, they live not too far from here. And we all got, the 4 of us got together and was just like, let's do something here. So we we technically are not under EN. We're not under Endless Nights. We're a standalone, independent Halo here.
Right.
But COVID kind of put a kibosh on a lot of the stuff we were trying to do.
Yeah.
So
for everybody,
And so right now, like, we've adopted a highway. So we've got a mile of highway that we are doing, and we're working on doing something called The Awakening in September, which is going to be kind of a little tease for the ball we're going to try and do for next year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we have a question from the listeners. Okay, it's from Jerry. How does the public take to you guys in public places? They look down on you, or are they afraid of you? I added that part.
No, that's okay.
I don't think it's either. I just think they think we're weird. Like
the goth.
I think that most people don't know that there's a VC. They don't know that there's a huge vampire community. Right. Being in the Midwest, it's, it took us, this has been going on forever.
Yeah.
It feels like, but like we're just now finding it because we're just, we're stuck in this Midwest hole, and things have been going on in New York and California all this time.
Right.
That it just never really trickled down here.
It's like, unless you were in the community or knew of somebody in the community prior, it was really hush hush.
And it is, I don't want to say it's goth based, but there are a lot of,
It is. It was considered goth based in St. Louis and all that. But
even New York and
all of them. But it's like here in the Midwest, when we go out, we have places in Central West End that we go to. We can. It's like it's normal.
Yeah,
it's a normal thing because you have the different styles and
we're with the rest
people.
of the weirdos.
Yeah. So now you go on to the suburbs. Yeah, some people will look at you, go like, okay,
So yeah,
but it's fascinating, and nobody really judges. They have a lot of questions, and so
we open up the arms on it.
Yeah.
We do.
So we have a question from Bella, and she would like to know, do you have custom fangs? She says, my very first pair was created by Chaos Custom Fangs. Who did yours?
So they are custom.
Yes, they are.
They were made by Father Sebastian. And, these were made by Father Sebastian, and then I have another set made by D. Nash.
Yeah, mine too. I got two pair too.
I got two
pair
too.
People.
I have one.
I can't curse, otherwise I'd say what that's called. But
Right. Well, that makes us Fang brothers and sisters.
That's right.
That's what we call it in the vampire community. So, so there you have it. I don't know where's Chaos out of? Bella, let us know where Chaos Custom Fangs are out of. But, Father Sebastian made mine as well. So, anyway, So how is that going? You're going to be doing some events coming up. Are you going to be coming back to Endless Night again? I don't know. Are they going to do that this year? Because in New Orleans, because we have the largest vampire gathering in the world every Halloween in New Orleans. It's amazing. I have met the most amazing people from all over the world at Endless Night. Isn't it great?
Oh, it's awesome. just to meet the folks from across seas over in Europe that come over here to travel to meet up with, to do the ball and all that. It's amazing. And the people they range anywhere from school teachers, lawyers, doctors. It's all over the board. You don't, when people think of vampires, sometimes they just think, oh, these low lives don't do nothing. I'm just like, you have no idea how that people are secret vampires because of their profession.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Now you see that people are actually opening up and saying, yeah, big deal. I tell my customers, but my customers that I talk to, they're just like, really? They get intrigued about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, tell us more.
Right?
Go
Yeah.
look at the website.
Yeah.
Well, and the costuming is just
Oh,
off the
yeah.
hook. Oh my gosh, the
Tell me about it.
costumes, guys. It looks like Fashion Week, but for goths.
oh tell
Yeah,
me about
I mean,
it.
Oh, my
thousands.
God.
I mean, I think what's nice is that it is. You don't have to though spend thousands of dollars. People do.
Oh,
People
yeah.
spend $1,000 on costumes, but it's accessible for even if you just want to wear a simple black dress or
Yes.
a black pair of nice pants, a nice dress shirt. Like the first year, like I sort of had a costume. Nick just had dress pants and a black shirt and tie. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't know what to expect, and you weren't
Not at all.
you weren't frowned upon if you didn't have those extravagant things.
Right, exactly. You're very welcomed. I think that was
Yeah.
that's the feeling that I've gone. I felt very welcomed by all the other guests there.
Oh, yeah,
Because
definitely.
It's just such an interesting group of people. Great music, great entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, so. And Bella is saying she got hers in Albuquerque, New Mexico,
Okay.
but they did an event down in New Orleans and also at Crypticon in Minnesota.
Okay.
So that's where Chaos was at.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Okay. Interesting.
So we had another question for you, which I think is very interesting. Someone asked, namely Jerry, wanted to know. You know, he can't leave me do the show. He's got to ask questions.
That's
Anyway, he wants to know if you have children and how do they, because this is my part, how do they handle mom and dad are vampires?
They love it.
Yeah.
We got
I
weirdo
can't-
kids too. So
Yeah.
I have two, and I have his two, my bonus two,
And then her bonus to me. So,
and we have two grandbabies.
yep. So
Yeah.
I mean, for my two, both of mine are 25 and 20.
Okay.
So they're just like interested too. I mean, my oldest daughter, you know, she's 25. She's just like into the horror stuff and, you know, vampires and all that. She's intrigued. My son, he's a 20-year-old boy. He's just like,
Yeah, whatever.
okay, do what you want to do. I don't care. So, I mean, they embrace it really. I mean,
Yeah. My daughter loves
Hers-
New Orleans. We took her down for her 21st.
Yep.
That's where she wanted to go. And it's
Of
always
course.
been,
Yeah.
take me back. I want to go back.
oh yeah,
She loves it. She's 23. My littlest just turned
Youngest.
11, and he asks all the time, when can he get his fangs? And I'm like, you got to be 18.
yep.
You got to be 18. Nobody's going to do it. We'll buy you some little
Right.
fake, not the little plasticky ones,
No.
but we'll buy you some fake little ones. But yeah, they love it.
I mean, they're all intrigued by it. I mean, they ask us questions about it and everything. That and the paranormal as well. So
Yeah, and they love New Orleans. Like
Yeah.
I know mine do, probably a little more than.
yeah,
And so they're just
They do.
I think New Orleans as a generally you either love her or you hate her. And so we got a bunch of lovers, so
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
We do have another question. It's more along the paranormal. Bella wants to know if anything paranormal has ever followed you home or affected your children.
No.
nothing's affected the children. I mean, we haven't had anything follow us home. For a little while there,
We had talked about the fact that we thought we might have a little bit of a little
highway.
paranormal highway here. Things
Okay.
come and go. We haven't seen anything in a really, really long time. Usually I always saw little shadows because I would always think it would be my son
Mhm.
darting behind. But Sadie sometimes gets an uneasy feeling downstairs, which I hate to say because that's where Leo's at now.
Mhm.
He's fine.
He's fine. No, we've tried to be careful not to.
Yeah, we try not to, get to the point where someone's going to try and follow us home. We stop that, whatever investigation we're doing.
Right.
Event with PTF, or if it's a private event or a private case or whatever, we try to keep all that stuff at home. I've gone into another field to whereas I've gone into the field of demonology.
Mm-hmm.
I've got I have incense burners and sage and all that, but incense burners which are getting ready to be blessed by a priest.
Okay.
So we have that, and then the rosaries that we have on our for our wrist, they're also getting blessed, and we're going to have holy water, because those are just different things that we bring on to private investigations.
Yeah.
That if something were to happen, we were prepared for it, because what happened with me, we weren't prepared for. So
right.
I don't want that to happen
Yeah.
with Nikki or myself, or have anything follow us home. We take your advice to heart, with the salt, walking backwards out, and we actually have our members of PTF doing the same thing, walking out backwards.
With the private
when we do
ones.
the private ones.
Yeah.
When we're doing the events, we caution, but the private ones, the members all walk out backwards. We tell the folks there also do the same thing. Then we do the cleansing, blessing, and then we go from there with it. But we listen and adhere to what the spirits tell us, as well as folks like you, Willow, as well. We take all that to heart, because
we don't even turn on our machines here in the house.
No,
because I don't need. If it was just him and I, it'd be one thing. But with the little one, he's interested in it. But
I do it a little bit, but I'm alone with the cats. It's not like anybody's done it. My cats just chase them around. We're good with that. So I have a question from Sherry. She would like to know, can you energy vampire drain spirits? Well, they don't have life force. So
they don't have a life force or anything.
I would say that would be a no.
That's a no.
Yeah,
not every vampire is considered an
energy vampire either. Yeah.
And you it as well as we do. There's different levels, if you will, or different types. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So
right. Yeah. So let's clear this up real quick. Are you blood drinkers or energy type vampires?
I would say more energy.
We don't want to.
No sanguine.
No sanguine here.
No. Not here either.
No.
Not my cup of tea.
No. Or blood.
Right. Or blood.
No. I'd say more energy than anything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I know if I get hungry, I'll just walk on Bourbon Street when it's busy.
That's right.
That's all I got to do.
That's right. Well, and you can't eat with your fangs in anyway.
That's right. That's right.
We can. We can drink all we want, though.
Yeah, you can drink.
Yeah, we can. Yes. I was given a bottle of wine today because I gave away some tomato plants. I'm like, I'll take the wine. Thank you very much. Bella, real quick, wanted to ask, what was the significance of walking out backwards? Well, it's so that you can trick the spirits into thinking you're coming in when you're actually going out.
They don't follow you.
They won't follow you. They won't attach to you. And that's why we do it, especially in our cemeteries here in New Orleans. But any haunted location, it's really smart to do that. So, that's why we do it.
Yep. Don't want anything coming home with us.
No, we do not. Let's see if there's any last questions. Anybody? Oh, Sherry would like to know if your children are Edward or Jacob.
You know what?
So I'm not sure he's going to know. Do you know what that is?
I'm thinking. Now, unfortunately.
Twilight.
No, they are not. Vampires do not sparkle,
we don't sparkle,
No, we do not sparkle. No sparkling here.
Yeah, that's one series I never got into.
No, exactly, right?
That's one.
So tell us where they can find anything about Arcalo or anything about the other stuff that you're doing, the PFT.
ParanormalTaskForce.com or DareToBeScared.com is for paranormal, and then is just Arcalo.com, we're both on Facebook on both of them.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, well, we'll make a note of that. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. Thank you, Nick and Nikki. Thank you, Sarge. And thank you, Para X, for the great job you're doing here. And have a great night.
See you guys later.